and come back with energy, that's for sure. This game underway, and it's Wilkerson on 2. Something that this team love to use is the option. Bansley, a great passer of the ball. Well, Pavan, the right side blocker, played with Bansley in your picture for a long, long time. 38 events, 3 second places, 3 thirds on the World Tour. Big results in Moscow, if I remember. Stepping into the line is Sumana Paredes. And speaking earlier on in the week, Melissa and Sarah Pavan were saying they're using these competitions as a measuring stick because the team on the right of your screen have already qualified for the Olympic Games because they are the world champions on the term. Pavan on to this time. Hugs all round, always smiling, Heather Bansley. No touch from Brandie. And where Bansley serving never won a competition on tour with Sarah Pavan, both players have done much better really with their newer partners. Bansley-Wilkerson have won in Chetumal, the 3-star in 2018. Las Vegas, P1440 in San Jose. Some big results in there. Ace from Sarah Pavan, who combined an indoor career with playing beach whilst playing with Bansley, but has chosen to go with beach volleyball. That's an absolute ripper, isn't it? Take that all day long. Back set in the breeze, but the pass is leaked a little bit too far to the right. It's difficult to get your timing on a back set in that situation. But when you look at the history of both teams, Canada very, very well represented on the World Tour. Pavan to serve. This team have won in Porridge, the Commonwealth Games in Gold Coast, beating Taliqua Clancy and Maria Fay-Altaccio in that one, but also wins in Xiamen. But the big ones, Stade, Hamburg, that's the World Championships. Manhattan Beach on the AVP. The 3 of the Canadians here play on the AVP tour. They've also shooting big at the Olympic Games, but Brandie and Bansley are also growing game by game. The break, it's a good bit of reading from Bansley to step inside the seam there. She's seen a turn from Pavan, but so did Brandie, so doubling up on the line in the end. Melissa. Sumana Paredes, 5'9", has won so many awards on the FIVB tour already. Team of the Year with Pavan in 2019. There's an error from Wilkerson. Most improved player in 2017 for Sumana Paredes, who's about to serve again. Best defensive player 2019 as well. Awards on the AVP. Fast, dynamic. Father was a volleyball coach, went to 96 Olympics. Back set, hammer angle. Just see how high Brandie gets out the sand. That's so sharp from that. Really is. Ball has to be on the net to be able to access those angles, but it does help if you're higher. You can access the sharper angles easier. Keeping the ball very low, Sumana Paredes. Well, it's Pavan setting, but Paredes working that ball quickly. It's a 2-point game. It's an interesting one to say the least. Pavan versus Bansley. Old partners up against each other. Shared the same coach in Scott Davenport for a long time. So Davenport will know Bansley well. And it's Bansley that makes a late turn and finds the bottom of the net band. See a little lean. They're communicating quite well there. So competitive. Bansley off the net once more. The break from Pavan leaves a little bit of space down the seam of the court. These teams have played each other 8 times before. Amanda Paradez and Pavan lead the series 6-2. That Doha 4-star the last time they played a month ago. 59-3. The world champions won that one. Bansley-Wilkerson winning in Las Vegas and also winning the 2016 World Tour Finals in Toronto, or at the World Tour Finals in the country quota. Good feet from Pavan. Little steps across the net to stay balanced. Hands are quick. Go straight back down. There's a change of ends and the difference is 4 here. Set's just too tight from Brandie. Good cover all the same though, staying very alert. It's important once you've set the ball to cover the hitter. Make sure you get right underneath. Especially when Sarah Pavan is blocking. Amanda Paradez float serve from very good float serve as well. The rhythm of the passing and setting at the moment from the Canadian team in black. Just leaving a little bit to be desired, and because of that, Bansley's taken a timeout, a shrewd timeout as well. It's #1 team in the world champions, that lead their Canadian rivals by 10 points to 5 here in Cancun, the FIVB bubble. A lot of work to do already, but they certainly have the ability. The coaching staff in Brazil, the same that took Barbara and Agatha to a silver medal in Rio. Being honest, just great to have our beach volleyball back through this pandemic. Some highlights, some close encounters. Well, Agatha and Duda are up next against the young Russian team who won in Spino in 2019. Makro Gazova and Kolomina. They're in impressive form. They've beaten Stockman Kalinski on the way through, but then it's an all-Brazilian affair in the last quarterfinal. Talita, legend of the game, Talita, back in business with Tayana Lima up against Anna Patricia and Rebecca. That's a good swing. Heather, 10-6, spin serving. Catches Pavan high. It's a good pass from Pavan. Ball's drifting off the net, but she's so high that she can still access the cut shot fairly well. Facing line, chipping line from Amanda Paradez. Just hops out the sand. Good read, good eyes. Canadians have said that working with Scott Davenport is great. He sees the things that others don't, is what his team is saying about him. That's why they're the world champions. Good eye for detail. Oh, no detail really needed there. That's just Sarah Pavan getting after absolutely everything, isn't it? Anything tight, she'll let you know about it, that's for sure. Passes deep down the line on Heather Bansley. That's good passing and setting from Canada. The wind is blowing across, well, from the main picture, across from right to left. The corner, imagine the top right of your screen to the bottom left is the sort of direction the wind is coming on. So Pavan and Humana Paradez are serving straight down the line to make it very difficult for Bansley to run a back set. Good serving. Coaching staff of other teams in the background watching absolutely everything. Nothing goes amiss here on the World Tour nowadays. The level of detail in the background. Germany taking so many members of staff to World Tour events. The sport really professionalizing in so many ways. We go to the technical timeout. It's 13-8 to the world champions here. And that picture is not something we're going to get too bored of here in Cancun. The waves crushing in the background. Well, some highlights, some very, very highlights from some high lines from Sarah Pavan. This is the second quarterfinal, the first one going the way of a new team scrambled together this week in Sinja Tillman, Chantal Labra. They are already through to the semi-final before they team up with their new partners very soon. Sinja Tillman, by my maths, is back in the country quota if she plays with Sarah Schultz. So that's why she's teamed up with Labra this week. Again, if you pass tight to the net, Sarah Pavan at 6'5" will take full advantage of every situation. Bansley deciding to just clean the glasses, maybe slow the game down a little bit. Big battle at the net here in Cancun. It's another point to the world champions. Melissa, so far so good with that spin serve into the breeze. Maturing all the time on this stage. A real world-class player making world-class decisions. She has a choice there to challenge the blocker or challenge the defender. She makes a full-on decision to go after the retreating blocker, which is Brandie-Wilkerson. Wilkerson's caught high. Doesn't do a lot wrong there. It's just the execution. 7 now, the difference. One-way traffic here for a place in the semi-final from the back set. Wilkerson once more. Back set, shape, back angle. Nice work from Brandie. Heather Bansley. So experienced now with the Olympics under her belt as well, but she can't score any points this time. She's back to the service line. 6 wins overall for Bansley. Off the inside hand of Wilkerson, who's trying to seal the line there. Pavan. Serve to the inside. It's a really good serve in this wind as well. It's a fantastic dig from Jimena Paredes, but too hot to handle from Bansley. The serve from the sideline to the inside hand makes it slightly easier for Pavan to get in. She's breaking a lot. There's a lot of energy being used out there in the heat, but also at the same time, she makes Bansley do a lot of hard work in her approach to kick out, face the angle, and then work the ball away. Pavan lines the call, and that one's shaped back angle. Pavan storms straight back to Jimena Paredes. Jimena Paredes, speaking to her earlier in the year, was saying just what a great influence Pavan's been on her, showing her the ropes. Jimena Paredes. It's another big serve. Whether she's spinning or whether she's floating, she's just disrupting Brandie and Bansley's rhythm. This set has flown away from the Canadian team in the black jerseys. Number 17 seeds here. Have to pick it up they want to get back into this set. There's a long way now. Race to 21. Serving off the net this time. Bansley. Well read. Again on the turn. Pavan. Yeah, baby is the call for Pavan. Big support from Humana Paredes. They really are a close unit. But 2 steps off the net. Not easy to track that from Pavan. It helps with the physicality that she has on her side. But moving backwards in the wind to try and keep the ball in front of you, never an easy task. Still, Humana Paredes. Scott Davenport should be very happy with this start. On 2, nobody home this time. You have a lefty on the right side with the physicality of Brandie-Wilkerson. Be a shame not to use the option ball as often as you can. Big part of their game. The left's a call. Brandie's there. Really good footwork. Goes low, goes late with fast hands. But that's maybe something that's added to the locker of Humana Paredes. That slight wrist away swing. If you look at a clock face, it's only really 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock, but it's enough to take the ball away from the defender. Turning the ball at speed, difficult in this game to play against. First set point to the world champions. On 2. Well, that's eaten for breakfast, lunch and dinner from Humana Paredes, but it sails wide of the mark. My bad, the defender says to her blocker, but they're still going to have multiple chances here in the Cancun heat. Wilkerson serving. Second set point for Pavan and Melissa. And there you have it, off the top of the fingertips of Brandie. Smart swing to confirm the opening set here for the world's #1 team. The world champions are off to a great start here in the quarterfinal. The Cancun 4-star Hub 1, the first event of 3. Well, for Bansley and Brandie, they're going to have to make some quick fixes. Just debating what's going on out there. You have to give credit to the service pressure of Pavan and Melissa. They've been better in all compartments of the game after the opening set. Coverage of every main draw game brought to you by myself, Clayton Lucas, and from Hub 2, Charlie Broom as well. The first time that the FIVB have covered every game of a 4-star. Fantastic to track the journey of the players, covering every court, but today is all about centre. And on the turn is Brandie-Wilkerson again, getting caught underneath the ball, so the arm just doesn't quite come through. Scott Davenport on the right-hand side at the back. His children are watching this back in California. That's the call. It's Pavan who's all over it. Anything that's close to the net, and in this wind, with the wind behind, you have to try and keep the ball under control so it doesn't drift too far on. Humana Paredes serving. She did so well in the opener. Bansley, better setting from Brandie, slightly more off the net. Remember, the wind's coming from behind the Canadian team in the black jerseys. But there's more errors and there's another timeout It's a fantastic start to set number 2 for the world's #1 ranked team. Remember, Kleinman and Ross are already out of this competition. For Alex and April, they went out to the Australians yesterday, an absolute corker of a game. But this time, well, after finishing second in Doha, it could be the week for Pavan and Melissa to turn the tide back to the top of the podium. Still a lot of volleyball left in this one. Well, second game on the center court here in Cancun. It hasn't gone the way that Brandie and Heather would have wanted it to start with. But can they pull something here? Well, that's a good start, but it's been really well seen. The footwork and the stability from Humana Paredes was on another planet there, moving all the time. And that time over the top of the block from Brandie. Now they're starting to fire it up, trying to force some intensity out of the situation. Let's go. Brandie, who's played some of the AVP with Sarah Hughes. AVP coming back very soon, we hope, as well. One of the best domestic tours in the world. Bansley serving. And this is where the team in red have really played well. They've passed, they've kept the ball under control in these conditions nicely. So you heard, as soon as the ball gets set over 2 meters above the height of the net, really does start to catch the wind, and then it blows outside of the hitting window a little bit more, so starts to cause some real issues for the spikers. That's sort of what happened there for Heather Bansley. Ball's caught underneath her, she's turning in the air, she over rotates, and there's a 4-1 lead. Robust swing this time from Bansley. Turns into it. Really dynamic approach to the ball. Arms doing so much to get the body up in the air from Bansley. 5'7", 1m70. But as athletic as they come, she has to be in this game because she's one of the smaller defenders nowadays. Or change of ends. 5-2 end. Remember that they've already used the timeout, Brandie and Heather. Technical comes at 21 points. Fast plays over the top of the block. It's phenomenal from Melissa Humana Paredes. That's why she keeps getting voted best defender on this tour, because she manages to read the game, sweep. She'll see something and she'll be off on her way before the players even contacted the ball. And so far, she's reading the other Canadian team very well. Extraordinary serving to match that. It's been a great game from her so far. It's another dig. It's coming on 2. It's a difficult 2 ball for Pavan. And she knows it's difficult because she has to turn. And that ball has to get across her because she's on the left side. So instead of trying to hit the ball hard, she decides to just look for the block of Brandie and go off the hands. It looks as if the world champions are in full flow. They said themselves that before Doha, they only decided that they were going to play the week before because they didn't feel ready for the event. But they went, and it was a real worthwhile experience for them because they took a second place. And as they say, they're using these events as measuring sticks because they've already qualified for the Olympic Games. And pretty good measuring sticks when you keep making semi-finals. Shows that you're not doing a lot wrong. Teams are obviously looking to peak come go time, which is at the Olympics. But for some teams who haven't qualified yet, they have to play their best volleyball now and hope they can still play their best volleyball in Tokyo. Looks as if both of these teams will be in Tokyo. It'll take something drastic, I think, for Brandie and Heather not to be there. Especially with this result, only improves their point score towards Olympic qualification. They took a 17th at the World Championships, the team on the left of your screen. But they're looking to still start to replace some of the 9ths and 17ths that they've had in 2018. But luckily for them, they're such a consistent team in the top 10. That's why they're 7th on the ranking. Sorry, 6th to do them an injustice on the ranking towards the games. But they will better their score with a 5th this week. So many 9ths in Stade, Chetumal in the 4-star, and also the Qatar Cup in Doha last month. So they'll keep improving. This is a great result for them, and that's a great swing from Bansley-Wilkerson. This has not been their best performance of the week, let's put it that way, but they're getting better and better. A good win against Carla Borger and Julia Suda. They lost to Kleiman Ross in 3, a belter of a game. Wins against Austria, and also the Olympic gold medalist and world champion Lara Ludwig and Maggie Kozik. For Pavan and Melissa and Paradez, who got another point on the scoreboard. They've come past Japan. And they've already beaten Labra and Tillman. So it'll be a rematch in the semi-final should they win this. That was in Pool D to win the pool. Carla Borger, Julia Suda, they've come past them. This is their 4th game of the week because they won their pool. 50-50 battle going the way of Sarah Pavan. Big steps at the net to try and get in a line. Rhythmical steps as well. It's really nice work. Good wipe from Bansley. Always knew that Pavan was having to take a step, so it's a good option. Then she tries to steer it away from Pavan. Ends up on the floor, but this turning into more of a formality in Cancun. The head-to-head results in favour of the team in red, but looks as if it's going to go 7-2 in the series. Bansley building some confidence. Overpass. And maybe the world champions are starting to falter. It's a rare error from the team in red in this quarterfinal matchup. The service pressure has to go up. Bansley. They need more of this. Pavan from the centre this time. Fantastic bump set. Another opportunity. Big back set from Wilkerson. Was there a net touch? Bansley doesn't want any of it, does she? Doesn't want a slice of it. She's saying no way. The body language is saying not guilty. Jose Maria Padron, the second referee. It's a big point in the context of this one. 7 points. The difference, an error from Bansley working out and kicking around. Good defense from Paradez as well, because she's just sitting around really wide on the angle because of the approach line of Heather Bansley. Just stepping around with the play. fans are allowed to watch the game from the other side of the advertising boards on that main picture. Not many there at the moment, though. Cancun seems to be a quiet place during this pandemic. Tourism, well, we all know the effect that the pandemic has had on tourism. Technical timeout has rushed on around here in the Yucatan. Really has been an impressive display from the team in red, but for the team in your picture there in the black jerseys from Canada, it's slipping away for them now. But the way they have to look at it is they took a 9th last week, or last month in Doha. They're looking to replace that with a 5th here, and even if they lose it, it's a good result, and their Olympic ranking points will only get better. Well, Sarah Pavan has not put a foot wrong in this game. For her team, they're looking for their 10th win together in 44 events. That's a great return. Very tight. Brandie's there. That's what she does so well. Any mistakes from the opposition, she will just put that ball away. Smart play to try and work it towards the sideline. Still 6 behind service. Error as well, maybe. A little loss in concentration behind that. Short serving. Brandie on 2. Now they're starting to function. Is it too little too late, or is there still a little bit left in this one? Looking as if she's going to set first before turning into that one from Bansley-Wilkerson. Bansley spin serving into the breeze. It's a good serve on her former partner. This is better from the number 17 seeds. It really is. Service pressure, making digs. No mistakes really in the pass from Jimena Paredes. It's a little bit quick off the arms, which puts Pavan under a little bit of setting pressure. She slowed the game down nicely though, Pavan. The ball control is really good. But it's a good swing this for Bansley. To the line. Bansley to the line as well, and that's an unbelievable swing. Timeout from Pavan because this one has started to swing back. 4 or 5 in a row for Bansley and Wilkerson. That one's too good for Jimena Paredes. He scooped everything so far. Well, 2 former partners battling it out against each other. Pavan on the right of your screen had the better start, but Bansley and Wilkerson coming back into this. Well, Pavan actually contacted Heather to find out if she knew anyone looking for a partner in 2013. That's when they paired up. And they won all 3 of their matches in Rio. But they lost out to Ludwig and Volkenhorst on that journey together. And it was straight after the games that Pavan and Melissa teamed up. They won gold in Porridge, silver in Rio, and Olsztyn bronze medal in Stade, so slightly unlucky draw for Pavan and Bansley in that Olympic Games, because Ludwig and Volkenhorst were just unbelievable throughout that whole competition. But another big serve from Bansley has brought them right back into this bust-up here in Cancun. Serve to the middle. Pavan, facing line, tries to turn it back angle, but who's there? Bansley sees everything. Opportunity comes, knocking. What a run this is. Are we going to 3? It looked as if Brandie and Bansley were dead and buried here in this competition. It really did. They were, what, 6 or 7 behind throughout the early stages, but now look at them. This run of serves from Bansley, some of the best that we've seen in the whole competition. Passing is rock. That's a safe pass off the net. This is Pavan trying to play a bit safer, but sat in the pocket, Bansley. Big opportunity here for Pavan. Great break from Brandie. They really are on their A game, but the set is tight. Gets caught in the wind, and Pavan's back in the game, and there's a 2-point gap once more. Neither team giving up here. Bansley from the left side. She passes off the net, so she starts to lose some angles. She has to work really hard with her feet to kick back out and have any cross-court opportunities. But she does it, and she does it really well. Bit of love off the net band, but who doesn't need a little bit of love off the net band sometimes? Float serve, fast and powerful. Trying to make a quick touch from Humana Paredes, but she's a great passer of a beach volleyballer. Ball's coming so fast, but she managed to give it time. Yeah, it's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but she does manage to get herself in rhythm for a swing. Serving not all about making aces all the time. It's about getting teams hitting from off the net or making them pass quick so they haven't got as many angles. And that's exactly what Canada are doing here. Look who's serving at a crucial time. It's Heather Bansley going for the float serve, but it's long. And you can see the relief from Melissa Humana Paredes, because Bansley was on such a hot streak from behind the baseline. Pavan serving 3 away from a semi-final place. Brandie, really good change of angle. It's a smooth choice from her. She knows that Pavan is running in, so they're running the 2-ball to beat Pavan to the net and put pressure on their fellow Canadians. And then changing the angle with the knuckle. Very, very good. Good setting from Pavan. The pass once more, saying is about creating tempo so the ball goes in at a good height. It was a little bit quick, but all Pavan does is just slow it down. But because of the pass being into a good zone in front of Melissa, it still gives her a vision when she comes to spike, so she can turn it. Impressive stuff. Back set this time. Bansley from a good spot. Back angle. That's a really robust swing too. They've really left it slightly too late to play some fantastic beach volleyball, this pair. Might not be too late to get the way back into this game and send it to a third. Bansley again gets another chance. Ace from Heather Bansley. What a time to serve an ace down the middle of Melissa and Sarah Pavan. Does lightning strike twice? No. Needing a side out for match point. Back on one from Bansley. Well seen from Melissa. Two swads. It looks as if there's a handling call against Heather Bansley. We might have to have another look. Was it open palmed and played as a lift would be the question that I would ask. You can't have an upward motion with the ball landing in your palm. Match point for the world champions. Got off to such a fine start, but for Heather and Brandie, they tie it back to 20 all. They deserve this in the second set because they really have served better. And through the serving, they've just implied a bit more pressure on the opposition. There's a race to 22 then, or 2 clear. Miss serve from Brandie. It's just given the initiative back to the world's #1 team. What a game this has been. It's one way and then another and then just goes back again. That's Matrix style stuff from Melissa. Humana Paradise serving. Second match point. Straight down the line. It's ever so close. Pavan thinks that ball might be in. The second referee may have given it in. It looks as if they have. Oh, hang on. There's a little bit of life left in this one. First referee has to get down. Joello Rivera has to check the line. The line judge is coming over for a discussion as well. This is a huge, huge moment in this one. It looks as if the ball mark is on the line. Looks as if it's a good decision. It's quite clear. That's why they have to keep the line smooth. The world champions are still hugging the moment of truth. And we have our second semi-finalists confirmed. A final last month in Doha. Thumbs up to the coaching staff on the side. A good performance. Not perfect, but really, really dominant in the first set and a half.